Wipeouts. We're looking forward to this non-elimination round led by Sally Fitzgibbons. She's trying to crawl her way back into a world title race, and she is in fine form this morning.
Yeah, that she is. You know, she surfs this wave really well. It really does suit her style of surfing. Tatiana Weston-Webb, though, I'll tell you what, she is going to be tough to beat. And Laura Enever taking down Joanne DeFay yesterday. So it is going to be a hotly contested heat. No one loses, so we're going to see some fireworks.
So an exciting day already kicking off. As you can see, an extra bit of time on the clock here for this non-elimination format. Jessie Miley-Dyer, Deputy Commissioner, wanted to make sure all three surfers had plenty of opportunities to catch two waves out there. Fitzgibbons in the lineup with Tatiana Weston-Webb and Laura Enever. And they'll start getting the rotation out of the way. Laura catching the first wave, so she's in the back of the line now. Fitzgibbons and Tati will now set up the next exchange. This is a key round where you can skip all the way to the quarters if you take out a big win. And speaking of winning, it was a solid victory for Laura Enever yesterday, her first heat win since the Fiji Pro last season.
It's got to feel good, Joe, that's for sure.
What's the big difference from yesterday to what we have today for conditions?
Well, I think the wind is a lot friendlier at the moment, as we see Sally
Fitzgibbons now on her opening ride, checking out the right. Beautiful forehand hook. Nice wrapping cutback. Now looking for some speed on the inside corner. So feeling that rhythm and flow. Never really needs a solid warm-up. Fitzgibbons often paddles out in the dark. Even leading up to a contest, she'll be the first one out. You'll be just thinking about waking up, and Sally's already surfed for about 2 hours.
Yeah, and she's already done a couple of laps around the block as well. She's likes to get that blood flowing early. Sally Fitzgibbons on her opening account. Beautiful swooping maneuver right there. That's just classic Fitzgibbons surfing. She only needs a small score to get herself into the lead, and she has absolutely nailed this first wave right here. Wasting no time, Joe. 30 minutes remaining. Sally already with a good score on the board.
Incredible. You just would count her to win her first heat, win her second heat. She was so reliable, putting herself in that top 5 picture every season.
Well, that she did. There's Tatiana Weston-Webb's number. She's ranked number 4 in the world at the moment, Joe.
There's always power, and this setup right here at the main break is always consistent with providing big open face canvases like this one. Tatiana Weston-Webb tries to knife that first section, but she'll end up losing it on her backhand. Meanwhile, scores are in for Fitzgibbons, a 5.67 start. She'll have the lead, and now Laura sits with priority.
Yeah, that was a little bit of a priority blunder there from Tatiana. She had that first priority. Sally made her commit to that wave. She lost her priority and then fell off on the next one. So just a little bit of a wobbly start there for Tatiana. Just keeping in mind there's no losers here. This was Tatiana's opening ride, and just a little bit of a glitch here for the young Hawaiian. Right there, just goes down, sticks that nose in, just mistimed that first turn. So back to the drawing board for her. Plenty of time remaining though, so no need to stress just yet. Just a 5.67 on the board. Pretty early still to decide that. So many young ladies that are just on fire right now.
So a little wave popping up now. Fitzgibbons, without first priority, is just in a better spot to take on this wave. Quick little rip in the open face. She'll float the next section and now look for an inside corner. Quick little fade down, but she runs out of water completely.
Wow, that was pretty radical right there.
She picks herself back up, standing on the rocks.
So she's on wave number 2 though. It's going to be a nice little score for her. 5.67 on her opening wave. There's that trademark bottom turn, top turn combo. She's looking for that bonus section through the inside. Let's see what happened right here. She snaps and then nosedive right onto that shallow section right there. That sort of came up pretty quick for her. You can see her just checking her hand there. She's a nice little turn. I don't think she realized where she was. And that board just goes right down into it. And that front hand there, you can see that was the one that came in contact with the reef. So yeah, pretty dangerous little wipeout there for Sally.
Here comes Laura Enever now. Just had a 1.57 before this, so looking for something major down the line. A little high line draw off the top. Surfer from North Narrabeen starting to regroup on this inside corner. It's not giving her too much to work with, and that'll be her second scoring ride. Now it's Tati's turn. Tatiana goes vertical, hangs on barely, and avoids Laura Enever on the inside. So a couple of awkward inside sections so far early in the morning in round 3, heat number 1. Fitzgibbons going for a big finish right on the rocks. She bounced off the rocks and had to get out of there. She's setting the pace in this heat. That score comes in at a 4.67. Last of Laura, 2.07. Last of Tati, 3.0. And they'll try to build on this score line. We're seeing the lineup shift a bit. Laura Enever's in white, way on the right side of your screen. More in the heart of the peak is Fitzgibbons, and Tatiana Weston-Webb will split the peak. We'll hang with Sally on the right. Nice down carve to start. Open face hook. Here comes that inside section. That's been tough. Carves early to get out.
That's how you avoid it. Right there. Get that nice little turn and then get out of it before you dry dock yourself. But that was a nice little wave there from Sally, looking to improve on a 4.67. Tatiana split the peak with Sally, which you're allowed to do now as long as you don't interfere with the surfer that has priority. Let's have a look at Tatiana's wave here. A little bit of, oh, big floater maneuver right there. I think just that bottom turn kind of threw a little bit off balance, Joe. Let's have a look at Sally's wave. Beautiful bottom turn, nice and low. That trademark searing turn off the top. This is going to be a good score for Sally. Nice little wrap around, then she sees the reef and gets out. So smart move right there on the end. I think Sally's going to drop her best score yet. That first turn was just trademark stuff from her. Nice big rail turn. That first turn out here, very important, Joe, if you want to get those big points.
She'll lose priority, and now it's to Tatiana Weston-Webb. Laura looks to recover and reset her positioning on this one. She'll find some space, late takeoff, and she goes down looking left. So Enever losing priority, tried to make up for it really quick.
Uses her losses in a positive way, and I think she's come back firing. Here we go, Laura.
Laura now looking for a score to break the combination. Little layback jam, and she'll sink on the landing.
Wow.
So a couple of falls for Laura, and she'll remain comboed. When we say combo, it means she needs 2 new waves to make a comeback.
A really hard wave to read. This is even next level.
Tatiana Weston-Webb now finds herself a right to work with. Big, stretched out bottom turn, but misses the section off the roof. So Tati's had a couple of falls on her backhand. We saw Fitzgibbons wipe out on the rocks earlier, and Laura going over the falls on the last exchange. Joe Chappelle alongside 89 world champ Martin Potter, looking at 11 minutes on the clock here. Fitzgibbons finds herself another opportunity on the main break right. Nice, healthy looking forehand carve. So great first turn for Fitzgibbons. Now a little bit of busy work to fill in the gaps. Now she's down to the inside section. Layback hack. And a nice read for Sally, former runner-up in the world.
You know what it did, Joe? It just made her really think about it, what wave she was catching, what maneuvers she was doing.
Now it looks like Laura pulling into the barrel. She still has her line and just getting clipped. A clean takeoff. She got the view and was almost out of the exit, but she ends up going down. Laura's had a few attempts. Her best score so far at 2.07. Tati still needs a 10. Fitzgibbons last a 5.0. Doesn't look like it'll change her lead.
Yeah, situation the same. Tatiana still looking for a perfect 10, and Laura will remain in that combination situation, needing 2 waves to get back in this thing.
Tati still trying to fight back. Hard off the bottom. Nice clean backside snap. Drills it off the lip. 2 solid turns. So play with the whitewater off the top just to keep moving down the line. She's been getting stuck on a couple of her backside turns, and now she works one out into the inside corner, and that's going to factor in. Breaking down the 10-point ride she needs for the win. She's heading the right direction, but now Sally's up on a good-looking wave. Hard bottom turn. There's that clean frontside carve that's really reliable. Whips it off the lip. Hits it off the roof for her third maneuver, and she'll step off. She does not want to end up on the rocks again, but the wave is going to send her there anyways. Morning, Ro. How are the conditions looking this morning?
It's dreamy this morning. We got that straight easterly wind just blowing offshore as we see Laura trying to battle through it to get onto this wave. She needs a big score on this one, Joe. Sets that bottom turn. You see her going through a little bit of chop on that face, a little bit of texture, but really trying to lay into some turns. And just bangs that one. Unfortunately going down. She really needs to pull out something big, comboed at the moment.
Well, Rosie, we've been noticing there's been a lot of wipeouts in this heat. Obviously, Fitzgibbons having to deal with the rocks. That's been a common theme. What's your take on the slow start from Tati and Laura with 6:40 remaining?
It's interesting. I think Sally's really taking control of this lineup. She knows this wave so well, and she knows which waves she's kind of cherry picking at the moment and leaving the girls for the scrap. So it's really important to have great wave selection, especially if the conditions are a little bit slow or there's that one wave in the set that you need to capitalize on.
Rosie, did you mind being in the first heat of the morning? Was there something about competition when you have to set yourself up with conditions and you haven't seen anyone else compete on the day?
Yeah, I mean, sometimes the morning conditions can prove to be a little bit slow, but I think on a day like today when the swell's dropping, you can really maybe get the best of the conditions with this offshore wind. I mean, the wind is supposed to clock a bit more northerly and make it a bit tougher to compete, so I think these early morning heats are going to prove to be quite good.
Tati can do it in one wave. It would have to be a 9.67, which is a huge requirement, but she's going for it now. Hard off the bottom, blows her tail out and ends up going down. She knew she needed something massive, so she decided to ditch the fins and leave it on the line. But now it's looking like a guarantee for Sally Fitzgibbons to put up another big quarterfinal result. She'll let Laura take this wave. Laura checks out the left. And just a little bit deep and out of rhythm in this heat. She was happy to get through her last matchup yesterday. She had a tough battle. Joanne DeFay, who's gone pretty well out here in the past. Sally Fitzgibbons kind of holding her hand there after hitting the rocks. Hopefully it's not too bad. She fought through and got her best score after she hit it. She fights off adrenaline and she'll soldier on into the quarterfinals.